The United States began its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz this morning, and every analyst you will see on television today will tell you the same thing. This is about Iran's nuclear program. This is about preventing rogue state from building a bomb. This is about regional security. Every one of them is wrong, not partially wrong, structurally wrong. Wrong in the way that a man describing the shadow on the wall is wrong about the object casting it. The Strait of Hormuz is not a military objective, it is a ritual site, and the blockade announced today is not the escalation of a war, it is the execution of a script, one written long before Operation Epic Fury began on February 28, long before the bombs fell on Tehran during the holy month of Ramadan, and long before JD Vance walked out of Islamabad after 21 hours of field navigation. But to understand why this is true, we need a theoretical framework. Let us go back to 480 BC. The Persian Empire under Xerxes does not invade Greece because it needs Greek land. Persia already controls the known world. The invasion makes no material sense. What Xerxes needs is a demonstration, a visible theatrical display of Persian omnipotence that will consolidate the loyalty of every vassal state watching from the periphery. Greeks are almost incidental. The audience is the empire's own provinces Egypt, Babylon, the satraps of Asia Minor. The message is resistance is cosmologically impossible. Thermopylae destroys this calculation, not militarily but symbolically. 300 Spartans don't defeat Persia, but they reveal something the entire audience needed to see. The emperor can bleed, and the moment that symbol is broken, the architecture of the empire begins to dissolve. Now ask yourself, who is the real audience for everything happening at the Strait of Hormuz right now? It is not Iran. I want to give you two analytical tools today. Hold them together because they are most powerful when used simultaneously. The first is the law of asymmetry. The underdog defeats the empire not through superior force but through three specific advantages: energy, ideological or material, openness, flexibility, and speed and cohesion, internal unity. The empire, by contrast, loses through bureaucratic mass and through an inability to see its own decline. While it is happening, here is the everyday analogy. Imagine a heavyweight boxer who hasn't trained seriously in 3 years but refuses to acknowledge it because his identity is completely fused with being the champion. He gets in the ring with a smaller, faster, highly motivated opponent. Round after round, he tries to land a knockout blow, but he is slow. The smaller fighter doesn't need to knock him out, he just needs to not be hit. And with every missed punch, the heavyweight exhausts himself more than the fight itself could ever exhaust him. The United States is the heavyweight, and this is very important to understand. The strategic threat Iran poses is not nuclear. Iran's navy, as Trump himself stated, is already, and I am using his exact word, at the bottom of the sea. Iran's air defense infrastructure was struck in the very first hours of Operation Epic Fury. So the Military asymmetry is almost total, and yet control 20% of the world's oil supply through a strait 11 meter wide at its narrowest point. This is the asymmetry, not missile geography. The second tool is the law of proximity. To understand why America is doing what it is doing externally, you must first understand who is fighting for power inside America. And here the picture becomes very uncomfortable and very precise. Let us identify the real player. The official narrative gives us the United States government protecting global shipping and preventing nuclear proliferation, and Iran a destabilizing Iran a destabilizing rogue regime blocking international waterways. This is the phenomenon. Now let us find the fact. The first real player is the American petrodollar architecture. The Strait of Hormuz carries roughly 20% of globally traded oil. Since 1974, fundamental agreement underpinning American financial hegemony has been this: oil is denominated in dollars. Every nation that needs oil, which is every industrialized nation on earth, needs dollars first. This is not an economic arrangement. It is a structural tax levied by the United States on the entire world economy. It requires no army to enforce because the architecture enforces itself. Now Iran, by closing Hormuz and denominating what limited trade is still conducted in non-dollar currencies, was not simply disrupting energy flows. It was providing a proof of concept. It was demonstrating to every watching nation the dollar's stranglehold on energy can be broken. And if it can be broken here by Iran, can be broken everywhere. The blockade announced today is not designed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to commercial shipping. The blockade will be enforced on vessels entering or leaving Iranian ports and coastal areas, but ships transiting between non-Iranian ports are, in their own words, still permitted passage. This is not a military, it is a financial siege. The goal is to ensure that no one pays Iran for anything, not oil, not passage fees, not tolls. Thank you.